Punk finds a forever home. Once upon a time, not very long ago, a shy black and white house cat named Punk was left behind in the city when her human family moved away and never came back to look for her. For the first time in her young life, Punk was homeless, forced to survive outside on the dangerous city streets. Poor forgotten Punk foraged for food, eating almost any scraps and leftovers that people throw away and drinking only from puddles of fresh rainwater. So many new experiences terrified her. Day after day, week after week, Punk lived in fear for her safety, especially at night when Cat often went missing. Punk was very dirty when a few months later, she gave birth to 3 black and white kittens behind that old run-down building. But the young, abandoned house cat was determined to be a good mother. Punk nursed her tiny kittens often and kept them clean by constantly licking them with her very strong tongue. Day after day, week after week, Mom Cat Punk feared for the survival of her family of baby cats living outside on the dangerous city streets, especially at night when kittens often went missing. Suddenly, one day, 2 nice firemen appeared behind the old, run-down building and scooped up poor, desperate Punk and her yowling baby cats, removing them from their miserable conditions. Punk's ordeal of being left behind by her human family, surviving all alone for months on the dangerous city streets, then becoming a mom cat for the first time to 3 demanding baby cats was finally over. Punk and her kittens had been rescued. The 2 firemen brought Punk and her 3 meowing babies to the animal rescue shelter where a gentle, soft-spoken animal doctor examined all of them. The veterinarian quickly concluded that Punk was terribly weak and neglected and should not have any more kittens. To restore her health, Punk would need grooming, several more baths, and a lot of medical care from the kind staff at the rescue shelter. Next, the cat doctor determined that Punk's 3 kittens were quite healthy and friendly and should immediately be put up for adoption. When Punk heard what the doctor said, she became very, very upset. First, she lost her home. Now she was going to lose her kittens. The broken-hearted mother cat knew she would never see her baby cats again. Punk wondered if she would ever find a happy home where she could feel safe and wanted forever. Weeks passed. Punk grew strong and recovered her health. She even put on a few pounds from eating the yummy food the staff gave her twice every day. The cat doctor finally declared Punk was ready to be put up for adoption. Punk was still a very sad and lonely cat. She missed not having a home and family of her own. At the shelter's adoption center, She hid at the back of her cage, curled up in a ball facing the wall, thinking no one would see her. One day, many more people than usual visited the adoption center. It was cat rescue day, and by noon, most of the cats and the kittens have already been adopted by their new pet parents who promised to give each one of them a new forever home. Several hours later, Cat Rescue Day was almost over. Soon the adoption center would be closing. Not one visitor had shown the least bit of interest in adopting Punk. Punk or Richie would always be unwanted, unloved, and never have a home. Then suddenly, almost at the very last minute, a special lady peeked into Punk's cage. The lady spoke softly and kindly to Punk and immediately recognized that Punk was very special too. She adopted Punk in a flash. Before Punk knew what was happening, she was stuffed inside the brand new cat carrier and placed on the front seat of the gentle lady's large SUV. When the car started to move, Punk hid underneath a clean, soft blanket, peeking out to look at her very own brand new pet parents. The kind lady kept reassuring Punk she was very special. Eventually, Punk started to feel a bit safe. She almost fell asleep. Suddenly, the car stopped moving. The ride was finally over. The kind, special lady gently took Punk out of the cat carrier and carried her into a very large, very special playroom inside the farmhouse animal sanctuary. Punk had never seen so many food and water bowls, beds of all shapes and sizes, dog and cat toys, and best of all, no cages. She noticed the room also had a special door that opened to a very large, very safe, and very secure fenced-in yard where all the rescue animals had lots of fun playing outside whenever they wanted. Punk's new pet parent explained that the farmhouse was Punk's new home in the country. Then, one at a time, the kind, gentle lady introduced Punk to her brand new family of very special animals. Each of them rescued and adopted just like her. First was Stormy, a skinny black cat with the biggest yellow eyes, who had trouble chewing because he lost all of his front teeth when he was hit by a car in the city. Next came Panda, a big, strong, overweight tomcat whose face looked something like a panda bear but got lost one day chasing birds, chipmunks, and squirrels in the woods and was found by some people hiking nearby who brought the obese cat to the lady at the farmhouse. Then Punk met Feisty Bose, not a very nice cat, who liked to hide from all other cats until one of them came close enough for him to pounce on and swipe at with his paw. Next came baby Ashley, a tiny orphan kitten whose mother died giving birth to him. Punk especially liked baby Ashley because he reminded Punk of her own kittens. And finally, Punk met Miss Maya, a once independent indoor-outdoor cat who became very needy after losing most of her tail when it accidentally got crushed by a heavy door that slammed shut on it. After meeting all the cats, the kind, special lady introduced Punk to all of the dogs. Argus, a purebred current terrier who was blind in his left eye and had a very bad habit of barking too much and too loudly when playing outside. Duke, a German Shepherd seeing eye service dog who developed a bad heart, became too weak to work and was no longer able to guide the visually impaired and the blind people he had been assisting for years. Vicky, a loyal mutt with a lot of black spots, who survived her first operation for cancer but was given up by her family because they could not afford to continue her care. Scout, a huge dog with the longest legs, who ran fast as the wind but never obeyed when her name was called because she was deaf. And last of all, Duncan, a puppy male basset hound born with a weak front right paw, who loved everyone but had difficulty walking, which meant no pet store can sell him. Punk was now the happiest of all the rescued and adopted animals in the room. She loved her new pet parrot and very special animal family. She was so excited. She wanted to lick all their faces, and she started by licking the lace. Punk knew she would never be hungry, frightened, sad, lonely, unloved, unwanted, or abandoned again, and lived a very long life at the Farmhouse Animal Sanctuary, her forever home in the country. The end.